Hey, how you doing today? My name is Ricardo Cordua. I just want to say that I love you and I pray that you have a wonderful and marvelous day. And so I wanted to come on here today and just kind of talk to you a little bit. And if you've been following me, you know that sometimes I'll do what I call a question of the day, or I'll do some type of thought of the day. And so I wanted to come on here and talk today because I just got back from Operation Hope Global Forum. And if you don't know what Operation Hope is, it's a nonprofit that helps people with credit restoration to get them ready to get own houses. They also do have this other thing that they're focusing on when it comes to one. It's called One BB, where they're trying to help 1 million Black businesses become established uh, in a matter of 10 years. And so they just do a lot of good things for the community. But I had the honor to get to go and listen in, and I've got to see some of the best CEOs in the world, and also in the top Fortune 500s in the United States, and seeing CEO of Walmart, Delta, Etsy. I'm just thinking about it was a lot of different leaders there, and to listen to them how they're talking about the communities that they're in, what they see coming in the future. There's certain things that they're just seeing. And I was thinking, because it's great to get information. It's great to get high level information. It's good to get macro information, so you can begin to chew on it and think about it. And this is what came to mind. I was sitting there last night thinking about some things that I learned, but I wanted to come on here, and I was thinking, was what came up in my spirit was called, what I heard was help. And then what came after that: is your life calling for help? Is your life calling for help? And one way, when they say help, you think of somebody in dire need, something bad's happening, and or it's like an emergency, and somebody's calling, help, 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 I need help, right? But there's another way to call for help too. Let's say uh, you need help with, when it comes to when you're in school, you're not good at math, or you need food in your house, or the job that you're on not paying enough money to allow you to meet ends meet, or something happens where you have to have a surgery, you don't have the money, or your friend is in dire need, and you're just trying to figure out how you can help them. And let's just, the reason why I said the Operation Hope, because I was thinking about that, because I realized that for me, when I'm calling for help, I have the ambition, or the mindset I was taught to begin to try to figure things out. And I understand that, I know personally that me asking for help was hard. It felt like I would almost call it pride. I would almost call it embarrassment. And to be a man and need help and ask for help, society kind of shuns you, or pushes you down. And I would say for women the same thing. Even though it seems like there's all types of programs out there that says, hey, we help this, or there's a program, we help this, or we help that. Sometimes you feel like you don't deserve to get that help. But it's funny, because when I wrote it down, I wrote this down. I want you to listen to it. But no matter where you're at in life, you are one good question or one good help away to get the answer that you've been hoping for. It's one thing that I realized, that I learned real early in life, that I don't know everything. not only do I not know everything, I don't know enough. And it's funny because this is me really thinking about certain things in life. And I also want to say that when I was writing this down, I was speaking to myself, and I was praying to God, for why did you put this in my spirit about help? And is your life calling for help? And I thought about that because, see, God puts you in positions or allows you to get yourself in positions where he's waiting for you to ask for help, call for help. He wants you to get, sometimes it takes you being in that desperate moment. Sometimes it takes you to be in that dark place where you realize that asking help is not meant to hurt you or put you down or diminish you or put embarrassment on you or shame. But what it's really supposed to do is put you in the proper position to receive your answer, to receive a solution. And you have to be willing to receive it. Now, I want you to think about this. We live in a society, right, where literally we can pick our phones up, we can research something on Google, we can look on YouTube, we can find a book, like we can find a TV show. There's so many things talking about help. There's so many things out there where you can see it, you can hear it, and sometimes you can even walk in the area where they say they'll help you at, right? They'll advertise it. Let's say you're in a food desert and the job that you're at, you don't make enough money to be able to get food in the house. But then you see a local church or a local community place who says they're giving out food, and so you say, okay, well, I'll go there to try to get some food for my household. That's one form of help, right? That's a like, okay, I need help right now movement. But the help I'm talking about that the help that you're going to need to be able to receive is the help that you're going to look at it and you're going to say, I don't want to do that. And it's going to bring up some things so for instance, for me, I remember when I was in school, college, university, and I would just want to say I was a C student, so I wasn't getting A's and straight A's and B's. But I remember a teacher coming up to me saying, "Hey, Ricardo, I just don't really know, what you're going to do in life. Like, I don't see you don't really participate in class. Like, you do your homework, but you're not doing that good on your test, and it's certain things that it's just not doing." And I took that and I thought about it because I was feeling kind of like I was feeling embarrassed, and at the same time I was feeling down about myself. And I started questioning, am I smart, or am I stupid, or I started saying these things to myself because I never had a teacher come to me personally and say, hey, I just don't know. Like, and so to me, I felt like it was a challenge. But at the same time, I knew my history, right? My history told me that, hey, you can't read that well, or you don't speak a lot, you're not outgoing. And so, for you not to be able to be like that, you're quiet, you're reserved, like you're too quiet, you're too reserved. I felt that, I seen it, and it's just like, man, I really felt like I was defeated. But I tell you, I remember it plain as day because I was sitting in my room and I asked God, I was like, God, I need your help. I need your help. And only not only need your help, but I need guidance. I need something that's gonna pull me to what I'm supposed to be doing in life. And it's funny because like literally the next day, one of the guys I played basketball with when I was in school, he came on campus. He wasn't even part of the school, but he would play. I told him at the time I was looking, for the summertime, I was going to be trying to find a part-time job because I wanted to stay where I was at the university. I didn't want to leave and go back home. And so I was trying to figure it out. And he was like, man, matter of fact, man, there's a job. I know a guy who's trying to hire somebody to do sales, like for like a cell phone company. And I was like, sales, for me, I was like, I don't know if I can do sales. Like, for me, the only reason why is because anytime I ever seen somebody do good in sales, like my dad, like selling plates and food and stuff like that, he was a good talker. He knew what to say, how to say it, how to sell the product and all the different things like that. And so, but I just didn't feel like that was me. I didn't feel like I had that skill set to be able to do that. And it's funny because when I was sitting down, the guy met with me. He did the interview, first interview I ever did, never had any interview training, anything like that. But what I knew was to put a shirt and tie on. I had a suit on. I had one suit in the closet and I put it on. And so when I was interviewing, the gentleman was asking me about myself or whatnot. And I was like, well, I played soccer in high school, and I played college basketball for a couple of years, and I'm going to school for marketing and sales, but I need a part-time job. Look, I was good enough to say that. And so he asked me a question, and he was just like, I see that you don't have, any kind of job experience. You never had a job before or whatnot. And I was like, what I said was, I was like, well, I never had like a real job before, but like I like worked like in like as student on campus. I did like watch the basketball course and check people in, and I did worked in like the pool hall area and check people in there and reserve there. I've done that. And then he asked me this question. He was like, why should I choose you? And then, all I could say, all I knew to say then was, well, I'm hardworking. I can take a challenge and be successful in the challenge. And that was it. And so he said, the gentleman was sitting down. I remember like yesterday, he was like, I'm gonna give you the job, but I want to tell you something. And I was like, what? He was like, just a rule of thumb. Whenever you go on an interview, or whenever you are looking to begin to embark on something, you gotta sell yourself first before you sell yourself to somebody else. It's like if you can't look in the mirror and bring confidence to a situation, then you're not ready to move forward in some situations. And I understand what he was saying, right? I mean, don't take for word what he was saying, but in that moment, I felt what he was saying, because like I didn't have the confidence. I really didn't do any kind of research, because it was just like, hey, my friend told me there's a job opportunity. I was looking for a job, a part-time job, and I did it, right? And the interview was the interview, first interview, never had training on interview. And so I was sitting there thinking about this, and the first thing I seen, they gave me the job. I started working. I looked at things, and I was looking at things, and I was like, okay, I need to learn how to sell, because I don't know how to sell nothing. And so God answered that question. He answered the help, right? Because when I met a guy on a job, and I was like, I need help with sales. I never sold anything before. And so, of course, we went through the training and stuff like that. But then he talked about, hey, you need to get, Sales 101. It's like, what's that? Yeah, Sales 101. And so I got a book called Sales 101, and that was with, not John Maxwell. Lord, his name will come to me later. Forgive me for not knowing the name, Lord. But yes, I got Sales 101, and I read the book, and it talked about cold calling. It talked about, smiling while you're talking to people. It talked about, asking open-ended, not closed-ended questions, but asking open-ended questions so people can begin to talk about themselves, talking about form, talking about, family, relationship, occupation, and personal. What's some things that you do when it comes to form, and how to talk to people, ask questions and stuff like that. And so I learned those things. And from me crying at help, me having somebody having a conversation with me crying out for help, God opened a door for that lane. And in that help, it taught me how to be able to articulate more. I started reading more, but because I used to read the textbooks for school, but I couldn't put the words together. I didn't understand it really. It was just let me just pass the class, right? Let me get the answer and pass the class. But this was the first time, besides reading the Bible, this is the first time I started reading books that were skill sets that will allow me to be able to build myself up. So I was reading that book, Sales 101. So, I went into that. So I went to that, and I learned about it, and I started selling. And then it was crazy, because as soon as I hit the ground running, it's like when I read that book and I did it, the first 2 or 3 months, I was selling more than the people who were training me. And I seen it, and I was just like, man, this book is working, right? But what it was, it's not that the book was working. It's just that I was able to receive the help that I was praying for, what I was looking for, right? And so I want you to be able to think about life like that. I had to tell you that. I know the story is a little long, but I just want you to hear it, because, when you're crying for help in your life, you have to be able to take the initiative to begin to ask first for help. And for me, it's certain I had to do help first for God. That was me, to give me the mindset and the tools and the peace to know that I need to look for help. And then have the mindset to put a plan in place and go forward. Like if you're struggling financially, or if you're struggling with your credit, or if you're struggling with your career and you want to get to a new career, or looking to pivot and get back into school, all those questions, all those things, all those desires start with one question. And it's the right question. It's help for what you need and what you desire. And it's okay for you to get the help that you need to get to the next level in your life. It's time out. It's time to be. We as human beings are going through so much right now in life, whether you're making a whole bunch of money or you're making a little bit of money. They always say that more money, bigger problems. That is true, because a lot of times, if you're in a different area financially, you have responsibilities that people look up to you to, well, since we're struggling, can you take care of us? Since you're doing better than us, sometimes you feel like you have a responsibility for that. Or the vice versa. You have kids and you're not making enough money to put food on the table. And you're thinking to yourself, help, what can I do? I need help. And there's the things like I talk about with the food places and things like that. That's a true help. That's a true need. Don't be embarrassed for where you're at. You need to focus in, ask for the right help that's going to help you. You don't need a handout, you need a hand up, as I was listening more and more in the program and for the last week, right? And I realized that some things that I just don't like doing. I didn't like reading books on my own. Like I didn't like to pick a book up and actually read it and finish the book. I've never done that before. Even when I was a kid, they used to have little reading competitions and stuff like that. I didn't do that. I didn't like reading. I play on Nintendo. I played Sega Genesis, or I was out playing sports. I didn't never think about reading all those things. And it's not, and my parents didn't do me wrong. They didn't force me to do it either, right? They was like, okay, as long as you're a good kid, you're not doing crazy stuff, you're not stealing, you're not drinking, you're not beating people up, you good. You go, do your thing, right? You cutting the grass, you clean your room up. When I tell you to clean the room up, you're okay. You're a good kid, right? But man, like in this season, like I need you to promise me, like you don't even know me, but I'm talking to you. I need you to promise me that you're going to ask for the help that you need. And when you get the answer, be willing to face it, to focus, and to overcome it. Do you got me? To face it, to focus, and to overcome it. Because sometimes the answer you get is the right answer, but it takes time for you to be able to evolve to the actual solution to where you need to get to. It's going to take time. You have to focus. Sometimes, like I was talking to one of my coworkers the other day, and I was talking about, man, if I had to think about, if I had to pivot or do something different in life right now, this second, in my mind right now, I can learn anything that I need to learn. And I know that without a doubt. Now, is it going to be easy? No. If I do, it might take me 4 or 5 years to learn it. But in the end, if I know that is what I need to learn, what I need to focus on in that season of my life to get to where I need to get to in my life so I can be able to support my family, support my wife, support my kids, support my community, I need to do it. So I'm willing to do it. And so I'm going to ask you to ask yourself that question. First of all, are you crying for help? Is your life calling for help? And when you get the answer, are you willing to do what you need to do to get where you need to get to go? I just really felt like I need to talk about this today because, all these organizations out here, financial literacy, we know that America, no matter if you're black, white, purple, blue, Latin America, wherever you, Afro America, wherever you are, whoever you are, there's a high number of people who never got financial literacy education. People are in dire need of credit repair. And unfortunately, there is credit repair people out there who are paying $2,000-$3,000 for, and they're doing them wrong on their credit score. They're making them go bankrupt. They're giving them bad advice on how to manage their credit. And knowing that there's an Operation Hope out there, and there's other organizations out there too also, but knowing that there's people out here who are trying to help people get homes for the first time in their lives, helping them start their small business for the first time, which I really focus on down here in Macon, Georgia. I really focus on trying to bring small businesses to downtown Macon, help them become successful, have a great marketing plan, business plan, get their financials in order, personal financial statements in order, get their trajectory, the 5-year projections correct. So we're doing good work. But my thing is, the people who really need it are afraid, they're scared, they're too much pride to ask for the help that you need to get to the next level. And so I just want you to know that I see you calling for help. And I'm telling you, you're not going to like the answer at first. I promise you not. Because anything worth really doing, it's going to take everything in you to accomplish it. I've never, like, you can get temporary happiness, but you'll be quick to falter. You'll be quick to fail. Or you can take permanent happiness because you made the decision today to ask for the help that you need, that's going to help not only you, but it's going to affect your family. Like the fact that 14, 15 years ago, I prayed and asked God for help has got me to where I'm at now, where I'm able to inspire my family. I'm able to inspire my community. And I'm actually able to make a imprint in people's lives because I made a decision 15 years ago. It wasn't a decision to oh, I'm gonna be a millionaire. No, it was a decision about learning a skill set that's been paying me over and over again. It's been evolving. One skill set, learning how to sell, has evolved me into a whole nother kind of person. It's got me out my shell where I'm able to articulate and talk to you today, where before I'd be like, I don't really have much to say. What I think is not important. My ideas aren't relevant, but they really are. They really are. And you got to know that for yourself. That's that same advice that gentleman gave me 15 years ago is what I've been doing for the last 15 years. And I've had ups. I have ups. I had downs. I had in betweens. What I kept hearing, what I kept hearing today, or over the conferences, there's storms, but there's also seasons of rainbows, where you might have to go through a storm to get to the rainbow that you've been working for, and it's okay. The storms develop you, it builds you. You'll get character. You'll learn new skill set. You'll build new relationships that will elevate you. It'll change your surroundings. It will get you from being comfortable to uncomfortable. It will take you from mediocrity to hope to true momentum. It will take you from stagnation to walking forward and not walk. It's just some things that needs to happen, and it starts with crying out for help. And when you hear the answer that the help answer that you're going to get is the very thing that you need to do, that you need to take advantage of, and fight and keep fighting until you get the results that you desire. So my name is Ricardo Cordu, and I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, that your days are sweet as honey, and that your life brings you much joy and much laughter. Remember, life is love and love is life. We are on the winning side. I will see you next time in the thought of the day, the idea of the day, whatever it is. But I just want you to come on here and listen to this, because I know that help, like me crying out for help, gave me the opportunity that I was looking for. And I was willing, just because I was willing to walk through that door, take the initiative to learn the things I need to learn, to assess my surroundings, to be able to, make some sacrifices, temporary sacrifices for a greater gain, to do something that I've never done before, to get out of my comfort zone and become uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. I'm talking to you right now because of it. So I want the victory for you. I want you to have a victory in your life. And this is the time for it. Such a time as this. I love y'all. You have a wonderful day. Bye-bye, y'all.